Hey, it's 101, guys. Welcome to the call. We always start at 101. Hope you guys are having an amazing start to your week. Everyone on the call, love seeing you here. For the newcomers watching, welcome Annalisa, welcome Mohit, welcome Mario, welcome Shane, welcome Linda, welcome Vinny, welcome Christine, welcome Robert. Hey, JD, what's happening, brother? And anybody I might have missed, welcome to the call. So glad you join me every Tuesday when you can be doing a million things. So this is another Growing with Grossi call. Those watching the recordings, I want to say much love to you. And like I've talked about always over and over and over, these calls are just meant to define the game you want to play and how to get started. So many times in life, it's not what game you want to play, not what you want to do, is how do you just get started? And sometimes it's just with an intentionality. So my intention is on all these calls is to help you in any way. Just by showing you what I've done, what I try to do every single day, what I continue to work on every single day, whether it's in fitness, whether it's in business, whether it's in with my family life, with my wife, with my kids, or my friends and my family, I try to do things every single day to create the best version of myself. So this applies whether you're aspiring to achieve something new, a dental student about to jump into the world of dentistry, whether you're an active practitioner looking to grow, or a retired dentist just looking for what comes next. If you're just a mom who's just trying to navigate this thing called life, if you're a husband just trying to figure out how to be the best version of yourself, if you're a grandmother or grandpa, guys, these calls are meant for you. And my hope in the whole thing, and it always will be as I continue to do Growing Grossi, is one, we grow together. But my hope is that you take some of the tips and tricks that I've done and you start implementing in your life. Like, this is what I do on a daily basis. And I fail sometimes, but I implement things every single day to make myself a better version of myself. Guys, and just with the thumbs up, are you ready really to make this life that you have, Annalisa? Are you ready to make this the best life you possibly can have? And it all starts with you. Ken, what's up, baby? Let's go. Is no different than whether you're working on a fitness goal, just in life. Let's start this thing now. What I love about life, what I love about where we're at, is we get so caught in the past so much that we don't really know what to do. Sometimes you just make a choice. Just make a decision to do something different. If you want something done differently, if you want change, do something different. And it can start today. You can always hit the start button or the restart button or the rewind button. You can do things. You can't always do things over, but you can always jump in. So, guys, if those that don't know me, those watching the recording, those that are watching live on YouTube and on Facebook, I'm Dr. Bobby Grossi. I'm a guy, I don't like to identify myself as a dentist. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a dentist. I'm a father. I'm a coach. I'm a motivator. I'm a guy who just tries to become the best version of myself every single day. Why, you might ask? Because I remember what it's like to have nothing. I remember what it's like to grow up to not have a thing, not to always have a hope, not to have a vision, and not have a dream. I can remember what it was like struggling every single day just to decide what is it that I want to do. Whether did I want to be a baseball player? Did I want to be a musician? Did I want to be an accountant? And you finally find this thing in life where is your calling and your purpose, which leads me to here, which I became a dentist because my grandfather died of throat cancer. So there's things in your life that can either derail you or motivate you. And I really hope these calls are one of these motivation things. But when you find what motivates you, when you find what you want to do in life, you got to now create, what is your life plan? How do you plan your life? How do you plan this thing in life? Like, how did we get to here? How did Bobby Grossi get from a single mom raising 3 kids in Flint, Michigan? I'm not a single mom, but I have a single mom. And riding a big wheel at 8 years old to here, to getting on calls to try to make a difference in this world. How did I get here? And a lot of it is life's a journey. It's a vision. It's a plan. But I decided February 3rd of 1994, I'm going to repeat that, February 3rd of 1994, to become a dentist. So I created a life plan and a checklist that what would I have to do to accomplish this thing to become a dentist. And then I kind of guided me into that. It was my motivation thing. And it took a long time. 21 years old is when I decided I'm doing this to honor my grandmother. I'm doing this to honor my mom who might have struggled. I'm doing this to honor, I love single moms out there, a little fired up if you're a single mom. I'm doing this to honor the people that are paid to wait for me. I'm doing this. And so I started creating this life plan and this checklist to what do I got to do to accomplish this? But when you're crafting your life plan and your checklist, it needs to be crafting, you need to craft truly a fulfilling life. It's all about setting goals. It's about identifying what truly matters to you and building your aspirations around that foundation. So I knew when I was a young, inspiring dentist at 9 days before my 21st birthday, making a decision to finally go to college, I knew that one of my goals or target was to become a dentist to honor my grandfather. And that's what mattered to me. It became bigger as life goes on. I thought that was my true calling. But to honor my grandfather, who died of throat cancer, to maybe hope that someday I can make a difference in this world so somebody else's grandfather or father or mother never died of throat cancer. Like, that was my purpose. So everything I did had to line up to that. And then it morphed to it. Then it morphed into something, well, I can make a greater impact in my family. I can have financial security. I can make a difference in the community. I can maybe bridge the gap between, as time goes on, how there's a lot of anxiety in dentistry and how to maybe bridge the gap between medicine and dentistry. And as time goes on, the life plan checklist changes, but your first part has to be is what's fulfilling to you? Why are you doing what you do? And that would be a question I just want to pause right now. If you don't know where you're at in life, Mitch, if you don't know where you're at in life, JD, if you don't truly know where you want to go, 10K and everyone else on the call, or people will listen to me, I might not see your name. What is it that really matters to you? Why are you doing what you do? It's no different than the Growing with Grossi calls. I do it to try to make the greatest impact in this world so that I can serve others. And I hope that I just change one life. And I'm going to tell you this because when you don't think it matters, it does matter. When you don't think your voice matters or the things you do matters, it does matter. I had a patient of mine basically state that I changed her mom's life. And the mom never needed motivation anymore and had to go to a therapist because I was her therapy. It all started with me having a goal to one day do a Growing with Grossi phone call. And I made an impact on somebody's life, and they might be around it, which has a trickle down effect, which makes an impact on their family's life and their friends' life. So when you think life is just about you, it's not. It's so much bigger. It's so much bigger. So when you're creating, your family is why. Absolutely, Ken K. Your family is your why. When you struggle every day, when I struggle, Ken, to get up just like everybody else, because we're all human. When I struggle to figure out what really matters, what matters most, it's to make a legacy for my family, to make sure that I take away all the burdens. Last night when I had to go into Crumble Cookie, yes, I said that I had to go into Crumble Cookie, and I worked 12 hours on Friday. I had to work 4 hours on Saturday there, and then I had to bail out one of my managers because she's exhausted, and I worked another 3 hours. Yes, I'm a full-time dentist, but what matters? When you serve people, do you find time to make sure anything happens and it gets you closer to your aspirations? But when you know what truly matters and you're coming up with the life plan checklist, you got to craft goals. Your goals should be crafted in a way that's specific. We talked about this, measurable, with targets in mind, so that you can track your progress and gain momentum along the way. I didn't just become a dentist one day. I didn't just wake up and become a dentist. There had to be steps in the way to accomplish this goal to become a dentist. I had to start with freshman year in college, and then I had to take certain exams and curriculums and timetables, and it took a long time. It took 9 years from the minute I decided at 21 before I graduated at 30 to finally become that dentist. But if you're fulfilling a purpose and a mission in your why, the goals are just stepping stones, but they got to be specific. I knew I wanted to accomplish this by this time frame. Additionally, it's essential then to create a plan of action. Like, how did I go from undergrad to dental student? How do I do that? I know I had to meet some parameters. I knew I had a good GPA. I knew that I had to take a certain dental admission test. I knew that I had to meet some parameters that were required through dental school. I also knew I probably should shadow some dentists. So I was completing this plan of action steps that you want to do. And so when I'm using dentistry as my thing, because that's what I really created my vision in my life was through dentistry. So complete your picture with a clearly defined timetables, timelines, milestones, actionable strategies to overcoming every obstacle. You got to know what to do. And when you set these realistic deadlines, staying motivated and adapting as necessary, you can create the life of purpose and passion that's truly worth living. 10K, if he does these steps, can really figure out his why, his purpose in life, and how he can serve his family and what things he has to meet. See, everybody's level of success, everybody's level of importance, everybody's level of what matters is different. And that's what's so unique about these calls. I'm sharing my story so that you can envision your story. But when you know what you want and what really overcome and how to overcome obstacles and barriers and set timetables and milestones, it's easy to do. It's no different than dentistry. We talk about, hey, we have a goal to produce X amount of dollars in a year. Then we break it down to what do we have to produce in a month? What do we have to produce in a week? What does every provider have to produce? Annalise, you got your hand up? Or are you just raising a hand like raising the roof? Right? So what I'm saying is, if you have a question, Annalisa, feel free. You can unmute yourself. But my point is you have to set these parameters and these goals to go get what you want, and you got to make it attainable and put timetables. So we know that in business, in dentistry, we know what my hygiene department needs. We know what my ortho department needs. We know what my associate doctor needs to generate. We know all these things, and we put these measurable steps, and we know when we're hitting them and when we're not. And the one thing that I fail to do, which is funny because my staff gets upset with me, is I sometimes don't celebrate the milestones. So one thing I would always challenge you to do, and if my staff that's on the call, like Christine is on the call, and I'm sure Chandel, what I would always tell you to do is celebrate the wins, man. When you get there, when you're hitting these milestones and you're checking them off, feel proud of what you're doing, because a lot of people aren't even creating a life plan. But when you have your life plan checklist, you got to then define, what are my values and principles? Because your values and principles are what's going to guide you. They're your guiding principles, if you will, that you want to live by. Identify what matters most to you and what do you stand for. People that know me, I'm a principle guy. I'm an integrity guy. When you do something to compromise my values and my principles, when you do something to me that I deem as not with high in integrity, I don't not talk to you. I don't associate with you. I choose to not be around those people that don't fit my values and principles. You should be very careful who you hang around with. You should be very, very careful and protect your bubble, because whoever you're rubbing shoulders in close proximity are exactly who you become. 10K, if you don't surround yourself with people that motivate you every single day to become a better version of yourself, even though you want your why is your family, you can take a wrong turn. And they say you're the fragment, or you're the product of who you hang around with. So Linda, be careful who you hang around with. Be careful who you associate with. Bob, be careful who you associate with, because you will become who they hang around with. That's why I know Bob Hill's on the call. I'll surround myself with Bob Hill every single day. Why? Well, one, his name's Bob, so I kind of love the value of Bob. That's kind of a joke. But two is he's just a great human being. He's a great man. He's everything that you hope to be when you become his age. I'm not going to show you his age. He's older than me. He's actually my stepdad that's on the call. If you want to know, I call him my real dad. Stepdad is kind of a weak thing. But he's a guy that motivates me every day, because he has values and principles that are above standard. So surround yourself with people that have very similar values and principles to you, but you got to find out what do you stand for? At the end of the day, what do people know about you? Do people know who you are to stand for? Ken K just put my badge of honor. He knows I love this integrity. That's my badge. I'm an integrity guy. And in dentistry, you better have integrity. You better have morals. You better have principles, because nobody knows whether you do right or wrong besides yourself. That is the one greatest tool that I think every dentist has, or somebody that's in medicine, is that nobody knows whether you do a good job or bad job, but you got to hold yourself to the highest standards. And do not surround yourself with people that compromise your values and principles, because you'll become just like them. But when you come up with a life plan, you define your values and principles. How do you truly determine the goals you want? What is it that you want to achieve in your personal, professional, and social life? Define your long-term and short-term goals. You got to really define, JD, what makes you move. What is it that really is going to tie into your values and principles? And what is it that's going to make you the better version of yourself? What are they? Sometimes it could be a goal just to accomplish one class. JD, I know that you want to be an insurance agent. Maybe a goal is that I want to get to this level of expertise by X amount of time. I don't know what it is. But remember, when you create a goal, when you determine a goal, call them your targets, set your goals really high. When they say dream big, dream big. If you want to make $100,000 a year, say you want to make 200. And I know you're going to say, dude, that's silly. I just would be happy with 100. I understand that. But the way the human brain works and the way everything works is that if you set your goals at 100, you'll do 95,000. If you set your goal at 200,000, you'll do 180,000. And I don't know about you, but you could, even if all you want to do is keep $100,000 for yourself and your family, sweet, donate the other 80,000. But when you have a goal of finances or a goal of fitness, what do you have to do every single day? I know that about 6 to 8 weeks ago, I was on a call, maybe it was a little bit less than that we're going to do 200 push-ups every single day. And if you notice, I post every single day when I do the push-ups. There was one day, I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't post, but I believe in integrity. And what I did is I text my partner in crime who's doing it with me, Ken K, and said, Ken, the reason why I didn't post that day is because technically I didn't do it that day. I had to work 13 hours at Crumble, and I did it at 12:05 a.m. So I would have lied if I said I did 300 push-ups that day. So what I did is I did the push-ups at 12:04. In theory, I was still awake, but in integrity principle, it was the next day. So you see, even in that, when everyone's laughing and they're saying LOL, you got to hold yourself in integrity, because the minute you allow yourself to bend the rule and compromise, you're going to compromise all your values and principles, and people don't know what you stand for anymore. So when you know what you stand for, and I'm an integrity guy, keep consistent with that. But when you know your goals, you know your short-term and long-term goals, and then you create an action plan. How do you create that action plan? This is what you need to do, guys. Break down your goals into actionable steps. Just break them down. It's no different than if you want to go to Florida and you got to drive 15 hours or 18 hours, whatever long the drive is. I don't drive to Florida, I fly, but let's just say you want to drive to Florida. You're going to probably have steps along the way where you're going to have your rest stops. You're going to have steps along the way where you're going to stop and eat. You're going to have steps along the way where you might sleep overnight so you get a good rest. But you're going to have these steps, these actionable steps that you're going to do every single day that you're going to stack on to finally reach your end goal, which might be traveling to Florida. But what are the specific action steps you need to take to accomplish your goals? Write those down. I knew that if I had to want to go to dental school, right, I had to get my undergrad, right? I had to get a degree somehow, a bachelor's. Most people need a bachelor's. Then I had to take the dental admissions test. Then I had to get a certain score on the dental admission test. And then to get in there, I got into dental school. And then I'd go year 1, year 2, year 3, take 2 or 3 written boards. Like, there's steps along the way to accomplish your goals. And then when you know your goals and you create that action plan, prioritize your action. Determine which actions are the most important and prioritize them accordingly. Focus on the ones that you know are going to have the biggest impact in your life. It is no different when people don't know what to do in a day, right? Write down what is the most important to accomplish. What are the I must do, not have to do, or I want to do. What are the not that I want to do is what are the must do's? What do I have to do's? So you can write a list sometimes in a day, even in a goal. These are what I want to do, right? To accomplish. You'll have the daily do list or the honey-do list, whatever I want to do. But here's the must. Here's what I have to do. Because when you can trigger your brain to I have to versus I want to, a want's an excuse. Have to, there is no excuse. There's no more excuse involved. You get them done. And then when you create what you must do, your priority is your action list, what I have to do every single day. What is going to make the greatest impact? How is it going to create the greatest movement? You might laugh, like, how did the growing with Grossi call even originate? It originated because I knew I want to make the biggest impact in people's life. That's what it first started as. Now you see the Dentist CO brand. You see that icon that's on your screen. Now one of my motivation factors in life is to teach other dentists to accomplish anything possible that dental school doesn't teach you. From running a business, running a dentist, becoming a dentist CEO, knowing what P&L sheets are, balance sheets, how to truly become great at what they do, what steps do I have to take. So I start these action plans, and it kind of leads us down to a further path. And then I got to prioritize each action of how do I help other people accomplish that. So I'm mentoring other dentists right now, and I'm doing this thing. We're prioritizing. What must you do every single day? So not only in your life, but maybe you can help somebody on this call to prioritize their life action and really get them to focus on what's the most important. What do you have to do? What's going to push you to that finish line? You know, we're running a marathon and you got to take a step, but what step should you take and by when? So when you prioritize your action, you got to focus on what do I have to do accordingly, but what's going to make the greatest impact? How is it going to speed up my process to accomplishing my life plan checklist? And then you got to set a deadline, guys. You got to set a deadline for yourself to keep you on track and ensure that you're making progress towards a goal every single day. My deadline is I have 24 hours to do those push-ups, period. If I don't do it, I'm out of integrity. I got to do something. And it's a bitch. And it's hard at times when I'm dead tired at 11:50 p.m. It's really hard to work out at 11 o'clock p.m. when I set deadlines because I'm trying to do other things in a day. It's really, really hard. But that is the moment of breakthrough in your life. That is when you control your mindset. That is when you dominate this thing. And when you're dead, you find energy. Because when the chips are easy, it's easy to be successful. When you get things handed to you, it's easy. You don't believe me? Let's go all the way back to COVID, how easy it was when governments were handing you stipend checks. It was easy. And this is great. You're living in the money and you just spend because you don't think it's going to happen. But what do you do when the rubber meets the road and all of a sudden the economy is going into shitter? What do you do then? You still wake up. You still perform. You still do what you got to do, even though you don't want to, and you grind it out. No different than in a workout system, because the results you get in life are the ones when you had to push through resistance. It's when you feel pressure. That's when you gain the confidence to overcome anything in your life, when you are meeting resistance and you blow through it anyway. And I'm going to tell you what, there is nothing better. Something as simple as just committing to a workout. There is nothing better than when you stay committed and disciplined on the results you get. I'm going to give you a good example. I am so strict to my diet. The one day I wasn't strict with my diet that I thought I was going to cut a corner was Easter Sunday. We all do it. And everyone says, oh, it's okay. You're supposed to. You have a cheat day. You do this. Well, guess what happened on Monday? My body reminded me, this is facts, of how crappy that food is to put in my body and how much my body hates it. That's what I love about it. You know what I love about it, Ken and Mario and Vinny and everyone else on the call, Mitch? Is that when I put that toxicity that's toxic to my body, I felt like crap. And all I did was reprogram my mindset of, that is not going to get you on your finish line, my friend. That is not going to get you to the end results to be in the best shape of your life at 50. That is not going to happen. That is not going to give you the energy you need to do every single day to fuel through. If anything, it's going to digress you. That is not meant for your values and principles, and it's not holding you to the standards you committed to. So when you are stay true, when you meet your deadlines, when you prioritize your actions, when you stay fully committed, life is unstoppable. And then you got to review your progress, guys. You set your deadlines. You got to review your progress. Maybe that was a review of my progress point on Easter Sunday. You got to monitor your progress regularly to see if you're on track. Are you on track? I know people hate the scale. And I'm not saying if you're in a workout program, you get on the scale, you might say, well, I look at how I feel in my clothes or whatever. All the scale is a measuring tool. It's just a way to track it. So anytime, even in business, you must track your sales. If you're in business, you need to know, how many sales do I have? How many cheeseburgers did I sell? How many implants did I place in patients in their mouth? How many fillings did I do? How many fluoride treatments did my hygienist do? I mean, on and on and on. If you're not tracking things in business, you're never going to know your results. If you're not tracking things in your own life and your plan, you won't really know where you are and you won't stay motivated. Because the results in income, the results in change, the results in progress are what's going to keep you motivated. Guys, if you play a game, if I said, hey, we're playing a game of bowling and there's no pins to knock down and there's no scoreboard being met, just with you're not going to be motivated. You're going to get bored. So why I love results, Ken and Mitch and JD, and what I love playing games and the game of life, the game of baseball, and you're tracking your results and where am I at? What does my bank account look like? Like, what does my fitness life look like? What does my relationship with my kids look like? What does everything look like? Where am I progressing? And you're staying consistent and you're getting those results, you're going to have the motivation and confidence to pursue. It's the people that don't realize that life is a goddamn marathon. Life is the biggest struggle you could ever be. Life is one of those things where you got to stay committed every single day and try to meet deadlines. And even if you don't meet the deadline you set another one. Just don't quit. It's the people that fail, that stop moving, that stop monitoring their progress, that get results. You don't believe me? Stop tracking what you eat and look at the scale 20 days from now. Guarantee you went backwards. But you never go backwards. Denzel Washington once says, keep falling forward. So even if you get on the scale and you gain 2 pounds, okay, you got a decision to make. You can quit right now or you can continue to move forward and get on the road. When I ate that Easter Sunday, I know we're talking about me. Easter Sunday, I weighed 172 pounds on Friday. I weighed myself Monday morning after I ate like crap. I gained 177 pounds. 5 pounds of weight I put on in 2 days. Now that's crazy. But guess what I did? I didn't feel sorry for myself. I didn't play victim for my circumstances. I held myself accountable. I said, no. That's not your goal, bro. Get back on the horse. And then I got focused, remotivated, did my thing, cleaned up my diet. And yes, I still got 4 more pounds to lose of that 5. But guess what? The next day I got a different result and I lost a pound again. So like, okay, great. I'm back on. So when you got to track your progress, you got to track your results in life, whether it's in business, whether it's personally, whether it's emotionally, track where you're at, write it down, develop positive habits, identify the habits that you can achieve in your goals and incorporate these things, develop new positive habits that can get you on track, learn new skills and that will help you improve yourself and achieve your goals. build a support system. Whatever you got to do, surround yourself with positive people that are going to hold you accountable. Why does Ken K post on IG World to social media that 100 done or 200 done or 300 done or 400 done? We don't need to post it. We could text each other. We're telling the world we're committed. We're telling people that, look, I said I was going to do something. We're doing it. So guys, don't be afraid to surround yourself with people that are going to hold you accountable. Don't be afraid to say, hey, man, I need help. I heard this from Jim Rohn the other day. You know what people don't do enough? They don't ask for help. They don't ask for people. They don't ask because they're so afraid of what people might think, or, oh, I don't want to bother them. Man, people want to serve you. People want to help you become the best version of yourself. I promise you. All you have to do is ask. The Bible says it. You have not because you ask for not. Remember that. You have not because you've asked for not. Ask for it. And then take care of your physical and mental health. I know I talk about fitness a lot, but I'm going to be honest here. If you eat like crap, you're going to feel like crap. You're going to be foggy. You're going to have days. People say to me, how come you don't eat in dentistry? How come you don't eat when you're doing dentistry? Because I get in the fog. I get a brain fog. You look at fasting. Try fasting 8 hours. Try fasting 10 hours and see how laser focused you are. You don't even think about eating. Try to be mentally and physically strong. You don't have to do 200 push-ups like I do, but you got to work your mind. You got to work your body. Just go for a walk. Hang out with a friend. Go in sunshine. Get vitamin D. Do something. Get away from the hustle bustle of your phone. Get away of things that are really distracting from you. I know a lot of people, when you feel good, you are good. Like they always say, fake it to make it. Dress for success. We got all these little things we used to say, right? When I first changed my life in dentistry, I just dressed different. Like, what did you do? I just dressed different. I behaved different. We always say that, you behave how you feel, right? So in a baseball, if your uniform is tight, tucked in, well done, you look really good, you kind of play a little bit of swag. You think you look good, you play good. So take care of your physical and mental health. And then this is probably one of the most important things you can do in your life plan checklist. If you don't have serving others or giving back into others as one of your priorities, you're missing out what life's truly about. When you contribute to your community or you help others provide a sense of purpose or fulfillment, it is the most rewarding thing you can ever do. I don't know who the patient or the person was today. I'm in the Starbucks line. I don't know who they were. I looked behind me to see if I could do the same thing. But somebody bought my coffee today. And how can you even possibly think that there's not great people out there when people are doing random act of kindness? But how about when you're part of that random act of kindness? I know in my dental office, when we gave back to the community, when we do free days of dentistry, when we do things that we don't forget about, when you're truly giving back to people, it is the most rewarding thing you could possibly do. So I'd always encourage you, in part of your life plan, you got to figure out how you can give back. Sometimes it's not money, but you can give back a smile, you can give back a hug, you can give back a warm hello, you can give back some education, you can give back some knowledge, you can give back just some of your time and energy, you can give back a lot. And then stay open to so many opportunities, because when you process yourself in a way of your life plan checklist, be open to new experiences and opportunities that might come your way. Because when you start thinking differently, behaving differently, you're going to watch the universe open up to you and try to give you everything you ever want. And you never know what doors are going to be open for you when you're willing to take that chance. If you'd have told me a year ago, 2 years ago, when I first met Richie Dolan and Ken K, that I would have an investment portfolio, I'd have the Dentist CO brand, I would have a Great Lakes Dental Design doing what it's doing, I would have Grossi Dental Wellness being almost a $4 million practice, I'd surround myself with your team, I'd be on Growing with Grossi calls, I'd have 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 crumble cookies, I'd have said you're a liar. But what ended up happening is these doors just open up when you start moving. See, even the universe wants you to win. Even God, we always say, even God, when you cause, thank you, Ken, when you cause and create the future you want, when you cause and truly create, you're intentional about everything you have in your life plan, whether it's giving my daughter, who's 18 years old, the greatest open house ever to create an experience that you can never dream of, whether it's my wife who caused and created the greatest 50th birthday party of my life, by taking an action plan, a step, and I'm getting emotional because it's the experiences that she created for me, but she was intentional. She had a plan at that moment to create the greatest experience in life. What's your plan? Who do you want to serve? What difference do you want to make in this world? How will you stand in morals and legacy and principle? What do you stand for? When you identify what matters to you, When you set clear objectives and create a step-by-step action plan with checkpoints to live this most fulfilling, purposely filled life you could ever have, you will achieve career goals, you will strengthen relationships, you will live with intention and gratitude, you will be mindful, you will be dedicated, you will be a totally different person, reaching possibly your full potential and creating a life that is so fulfilling that you won't even know the impact you have. I know life's unpredictable. I know life might change. But when you stay flexible and you're adaptable to what is important to you, when you stay committed to your plan, when you stay true to what you're truly focused on, when you make progress towards your goals, you will accomplish a masterpiece in life that you never thought possible. You are the creator to your story. You are the author, if you will, to your book. You are the writer. You are the creator. I'm not the GOAT, JD, but I love that, bro. I'm not the greatest of all time, but I appreciate that praise. I'm a person that just wants to make a difference. So obviously, I know JD already said that. Guys, are these calls making a difference to you? Please, I need you to do me a favor. Share your success story with me at the info@thedentist CEO. Share what you want to accomplish. Share anyway, connect with me. Some people on this call, some people on the recordings have connected with me, and we get to talk every single day. Dude, all I want to do is help you design the future you want. And it's funny I said that just now, because next week we are going to talk about designing your ultimate future. What does it look like, Mitch? What does it look like, Ken? How can you cause and create this thing that in your once mind as a kid you had a dream of? Don't let people take away your dreams. Be that kid again in your life. Go ahead and dream. Right now, for the next week, dream as big as you can ever dream. Write down on a book or a piece of paper what it is that you want to cause and create. Write down on a book what truly matters and motivates you. Take the time to do that, because when you do that, and I have a journal, and next time I'll share it to you. I had 50 goals I wrote down a year ago, 50 goals. And I can remember talking to one of my coaches in Ken. And I said, Ken, after a full year of those 50 goals, I wrote them down every single day. I think I accomplished 80% of those goals or something like that. I have to go back to it because I have new goals now. And I continue to check these things off the list of what matters the most to me. But guys, in closing, surround yourself with people that make you better. Create that checklist and that plan list that you know you must accomplish. Forget about worrying about what your spouse wants you to accomplish. This is something internally in your soul. This is something where you know you must accomplish to feel fulfilled in your life. And when you do that, and when you take the steps in action, you watch what happens. Guys, I love you. I hope this touches your heart. I cannot wait to share with you guys next Tuesday how to design your ultimate life future. Yes, just try doing one thing, as Ken says. Just do one thing to accomplish where you want to go, and you'll knock it out of the park. Hit a single, baby. Much love. We'll talk soon. Have a great day.